think it was showing. I think it was showing the fundamental kind of problem, if you like, being gay at that time, which was the issue of whether you were known to be gay, whether you, in your working life, in your day-to-day life, you were known as gay and accepted as gay. But it certainly wasn't showing like the problems of the nightlife, except ordinary human problems. I think you know, the kind of the meetings that don't quite work out, and the difficulties of kind of finding the right partner. So I think it was, but those are fairly. I mean, those are not specific really to gay experience, I think. But I mean, I'm very curious to see what how it does look to a Turkish audience, because this is the first screening of the film ever in Turkey at the festival. So I should be very curious to see whether people think it is like a kind of period piece, or whether it bears any relation to present-day experience in Turkey. Hopefully the latter. I mean, hopefully it doesn't. I mean, people, I'm sure, don't wear pullovers in the discos anymore. So the clothing thing, I think, is the thing which most dates it, most sets it in a very particular period. But I think the whole issue of being known to be gay at school maybe is familiar. People hiding their sexuality in schools, I think, is still pretty much across the world, not specifically to Turkey or to England. I'm not sure that many teachers who are gay are openly gay at school.
So it didn't change, you think?
I don't think that's massively changed. I think it's changed a bit, slowly. There are cases of people being sacked at that time for inappropriate religious or moral education, or a specific sex education lesson. Not that there were many of those in the 70s. So we didn't base it on any real life particular case, but we did base it on nighttime life and the difficulty of bringing those things comfortably together, which I think is still a very real issue in many countries, but including countries where you might think it's not an issue, in the States, in the UK. So I don't think the kind of issues behind the film have gone, but the nature of the gay scene, the visibility of gays, the representation of gays is much more varied, and this was the first film perhaps to get people playing. We scripted it based on a lot of life stories, and it's a non-professional cast with the exception of the lead character, who is an actor. Everyone else in the film is playing a role based around their own experience. They develop it, they fictionalise it, but we kind of we worked with a group of people over the course of 3 years. Very difficult to do things like shooting in schools. Once they knew the subject of the film, all we were shooting in schools were classroom scenes with geography lessons, essentially, apart from the one big scene where the sexuality gets brought into the classroom by the students raising the topic, not by him raising the topic. And I am incredibly curious to know whether it touches any nerves here or not, any particular nerves. And this, of course, is Istanbul, which famously has a gay scene, which is...
But then behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes, and how people would, how people deal with this kind of issue now, and in a very different context.
I mean, this festival has been like screening gay and lesbian films for something like 9 years now. But it's just very like one of, let's say, rare things that...
Is it true that the festival, in a sense that it hasn't become a lesbian and gay film festival?
No.
And does Istanbul have one of those?
No.
So the gay films, in a way, are just seen as part of an independent film sector.
I mean, this is just a part in this film festival that there's a gay and lesbian section, and they do have a gay and lesbian party. Like something like that. It's just.
Well, I quite like it being connected up with a more general kind of independent film kind of context rather than always specifically. Yeah, because I don't particularly think the film is purely for. Well, I hope it isn't purely for a gay audience.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.